Hello, my name is Ariel Sibbett, and this is my final project for interpersonal communication at Liberty University. Today I will be discussing my overarching goal for this class and life in general, my personal behavioral blend, the challenges that I face in communication, the plans I have to overcome these challenges, and how to apply the techniques that I have learned and ways to continue to grow. My overarching goal is to become a more attentive listener, be heard more clearly, and be able to share Christ's love through being the best counselor and advocate I can be, as I continue to grow and learn in my communication skills and apply what I have learned in this class. My biblical perspective on this goal is that anyone who has ears should listen. This is a verse that is repeated numerous times throughout the Bible. Proverbs 22:17 also says, "Listen closely, pay attention to the words of the wise, and apply your mind to my knowledge." This verse explains to us why and how we should listen. When we open our hearts and our ears to others, we are able to hear more than just their words. This can also be said for listening to God. When we truly open our hearts and our ears, we can hear things that God is saying to us that previously we may have missed. Throughout this class, we have been discussing our behavioral blend. The method that has been used to discover our personal blends is called the DISC blend method. This method is a tool made up of 4 major personality types. Most people are a combination of these types, and what you are is influenced by the situation. It can show you what you truly are and what you feel is expected of you. My personal blend is different based on what I feel is expected of me and what is truly me. What I feel is expected of me is that I am an S-type blend. This means that I am passive and people-oriented and can be seen as steady, stable, shy, security-oriented, and can sometimes be withdrawn and more reserved in public, but am also seen as a good listener and relatable to most people. This is actually me is a personality blend of I, S, and C. This means I have strong people skills, can be either outgoing or reserved, can be indecisive, and usually am very kind and friendly, but can also be critical. I tend to not be detail-oriented, and as long as everything works out in the end, I'm okay with that. I am relatable and comfortable in a crowd, but also in an individual one-on-one situation. Being a blend of ISC means that I am flexible and relatable, but also that I am motivated by various things because of this personality type. I blends are motivated by recognition and approval. S is motivated by stability and support, and C is motivated by quality and correctness. For the blend of what is expected of me, the biggest motivators are stability and support, having an established work pattern, a consistent and familiar environment, and the security of a situation. The impact on my life that this blend has had is that I feel that this is me blend is more accurate to my personality now. Whereas in high school and middle school, my personality much more reflected the blend that was expected of me. This personality blend has had positive and negative impacts on my life. It gives me the confidence and flexibility to handle most situations, regardless of the size of the crowd, the intimacy of the relationship I have with the person I am speaking with, or anything else that could affect the conversation. However, it also gives me a tendency to be critical of others and indecisive. I was much shyer in my adolescence than I am today, and it wasn't until halfway through high school that I truly began to become the personality type that I showed at home and with close friends rather than just at school. My biblical perspective on my personality blend is that Matthew 7:1 says, "Do not judge, so you won't be judged." Everyone should keep this in mind, but especially those who can be critical of others at times. The Bible also warns about being indecisive in case it should spill over into other areas of your life. I don't tend to be indecisive about large issues, but about small ones. And the Bible's warning is true. Being indecisive can feed over into other areas of your life if you allow it. My personal communication challenges are that one of the biggest challenges I face is being a level 3 listener. This means that I tune in and out of a conversation. For example, I work in childcare, and I am often very aware of the tone or mood of what a child is saying before I actually hear the words that they are saying. There are often 10 children and one of me, and I can't listen to everyone at one time. But I'm aware of this, and I know it's not the right thing to do because every child deserves to be heard. The golden rule is repeated in the Bible and says that we should treat others the way we want to be treated. This includes listening attentively. The other challenge I face is listening with bias or through a filter. This means that I hear something someone else is saying based on my feelings or thoughts about the subject, rather than the person who is speaking's feelings, thoughts about the subject. One of the best examples of this is politics. And while I try to avoid talking about politics at all costs, I should also be open to other people's opinions and give them the respect they deserve when they are speaking about them. God created us all differently and gave us all special gifts and a uniqueness, and we were all created in His image, which means that we should all be respected and listened to as God's children. My action plan and implementation plan for making these changes as a permanent change in my life and listening skills is to continue to become more self-aware, which is the key to being a better listener and listening without a bias, and also not tuning out of a conversation, becoming more prayerful and having a more open heart to God's words, and being aware of how my personality affects my listening skills and overcoming the negative impacts it can have on my life. I specifically plan to implement these changes at work and with my friends and family. My accountability is going to be with myself. If I cannot hold myself accountable, why would I expect anyone else to hold me accountable? My relationship with God is very personal, and I feel that my prayers for guidance, especially in listening and hearing His words, will allow me to hear and listen to others' words as well. Thank you so much for your time. I have learned so much about listening and being a better listener and being a servant of Christ in listening to others. Thank you.